Hi friends, Laura here. I am back with a Etsy project update, a puzzle e-commerce store update, and it's week 3, but video 2, and we have a lot of ground to cover. So I'm just going to start with, if you arrived here through the giveaway that I am running, I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you want to follow along, and thank you. I want to show you the puzzles that have arrived. Just to recap, these are print-on-demand puzzles. I don't have any control over the box. I don't have any control over the type of cut. I don't have any control over the depth of the material. I just have control of the image. But for a print-on-demand product, I was actually quite happy with them. So here we go. So this is a print-on-demand product, and the box is it's pretty cute. It's a matte black, and it's got the size of the puzzle on the front. If you're interested in knowing which company I sourced from, drop it in the comments and I will tell you. And it came out good. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad for a first round. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the box and just show you how it looks. So this is what you would get in the mail at this time if you order from me, off my Etsy store. Hopefully we won't all have to die trying to open up this box. Okay, so voila. Now what I thought was really nice, here it is. What I did like about it was that the back of the puzzle is black, and I thought that was really nice. And then the pieces are high gloss. It's kind of a little hard to see where I'm at, but they're like a really nice high gloss. And the cut, it's nice. It's not like crappy. Can I say that? It's not rubbish. The only thing that I don't love is how much dust there is in the box. And I'm okay with it not coming in a plastic bag because we don't need more plastic. But there is quite a bit of dusty kind of like residue, and I'm not sure if that's just how puzzle cutting goes or if there's a way to get less of that. So that's something that I'm going to have to resource, but I was really happy. And then here's the other one that I got, and we're going to talk more about the content of this. And here's another one I got, which was a black cat stained glass window style. So yeah, if you are following along for that, then thank you so much. Here, this is what happened. They're great. So bottom line is, I have the puzzles. I know that they're good quality, but let's just talk about, I did get a bit down in the dumps this week, and I just also want to say thanks to the Reddit group, who like the jigsaw puzzle Reddit forum, because you pulled me out of my kind of slump. So one of the things about being in e-commerce is also like seeing what the competition is doing and trying to read what the market is doing. And this conversation is about two things. One is about pricing, and then one is about content. So using eRank, which is a piece of software that Etsy also recommends. Using eRank, I have been tracking some of the other sellers that are in my genre. And what I found was, by sales, the top, let's say 3 sellers in my category are all selling AI generated images. So this is the content piece. It's all AI. And this, I'll just be, this is AI. This is an AI image. I created it using Canva. I just typed in a prompt and it spat out like 4 variations of this cat, and that's fine. And that also is a skill. But I don't know. It's tough. Okay. But this is a piece of existing art that somebody painted from a long time ago. And so this is sort of just a different thing. Anyway, so the top sellers in the category are all using AI. Now, the problem is, to me, is that it's not that it's an unfair advantage, but the Redditors, the jigsaw puzzle Redditors, are very much like, no AI. Like, AI sucks. We don't want it. And yet, all of the manufacturers are pushing out this AI. So I was thinking, okay, well, if the customer doesn't want it, then why are these sellers selling so much of it? Like, I don't understand. Like, you have to go where the market leads you. So that was one thing that kind of threw me off a little bit this week, because, you know, I don't want to crank out AI generated images where everything looks the same and everything feels the same, and it's kind of like you Google stained glass black cat and 30 options come up and they're all sort of the same. Like, what's the point in that? And then on top of that, so these same sellers are selling at their pricing, they're selling at a 45% sale at all times and free shipping. So let's say, I don't know, I mean, the numbers that they say online are not actually really the numbers sometimes, but if I'm doing something that is print on demand, or if you're thinking about doing something that is a print on demand where it's order one, then they print one, the cost is it's much higher. And so if I was to try to try to compete on price, which never do this, but if I was, then if I tried to do a 45% discount and free shipping, I'd literally be at minus. So this week I thought, I'm really gonna have to just maybe I'm gonna have to sit this out, because these other sellers now, I'm not saying it's coming from China, but it feels like that in the listing. And that's, I don't know, right? Like, that feels like an unfair advantage. Like, you know, I don't have the machine, and I'm not, I'm not able to produce things for like 50 cents. So but that is the economics of it all, is that, does the math work? And if the math ain't mathin', then you cannot girl math this. No girl math. You have to do the numbers. So I was kind of like really bummed out. I thought, there's no way I can compete with this at this point, at this stage. And also, if this is where it's leading and people aren't willing to pay a little more for better quality, then I don't really know where this is going, if it can go anywhere. And also, on top of that, I don't want to sell on Amazon. I want to be able to have a sustainable business that's not reliant on cost cutting and sales and, eating into profit margin, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do as well, right? We're trying to create a business that will help feed a family, and you can't do that if you're discounting things and trying to compete with like a Chinese seller. It's very hard. And then I'll just say, like, if you're on Etsy, and I feel really bad for the jewelry designers, because there's a lot of jewelry on there that is just not handmade. And I feel like Etsy, the more I spend time in it, the more I think that they, I'm glad to be on there at this point, but I feel like they kind of they're not doing a good enough job about really identifying like who is really handmade and who isn't. And I know it's hard. But, that's just my 2 cents. Okay, so anyway, bottom line is, the Redditors pulled me out, and somebody said on the forum, which I was so grateful for, they said, listen, if you can't compete, don't. Just go the complete opposite, which is what we're going to do. So I'm back on track, and I'm really excited, and just pushing forward and trying to stay positive and stay in the test phase and not get discouraged. Okay, then the other thing is, so that's where we're at. We're pushing forward, and we're not worrying about the Chinese sellers, and we're not overly focusing on cost cutting. We're just doing what we need to do. Now, then the other thing is this. I got my Etsy bill. So if you're here, you discovered this video because you want to get onto Etsy, this is really also important. Etsy, it feels free, but it isn't. So just keep referring to my notes because we've got a lot to cover. Every Etsy listing is 20 cents for 4 months, which breaks down to 0.05 cents per month. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up when you start adding more and more listings. And you do need a certain quantity of listings to kind of like build a catalog. So just keep that in mind when you're like, oh, Etsy's so easy. Etsy's basically free. It feels free, but it's not. And then here's another thing that I was really surprised at because I glanced over it and I didn't really register it properly. Now, I've done a lot of work in Shopify as part of my day job. And I did not realize that Etsy takes 6.5% as a transaction fee. That is really high. That is really high. 6.5? That is very, very high. So obviously they're offsetting their listing fee and they need to make money. They're a platform, they have a staff, whatever. But 6.5% is kind of high. So you've got to be aware of that when you're also doing your numbers and trying to figure out your pricing. What the hell, Etsy? And that is it. That's all I have. I have created a Etsy fees calculator and it's on my website. I will put the link also in the bottom of this I will just drop it in the comments. And if you want to use it to kind of like check out how much it might cost you to list your listings and where you'd be at, then you can go ahead and do that. And that's it, week 3. Week 4, I'm just still tracking along and looking for feedback on designs and interest. And we'll see where this whole thing is headed. But I want to thank you for joining me again. And I'll see you on the next Etsy update. See you later. Bye.